The little girl's voice was small, but it cut through the noise of the bus station like a bell through fog. "Please don't cry, ma'am," she said, standing on the tips of her worn sneakers. "You can borrow my dad." The Navy soldier froze, one hand gripping a duffel bag that smelled of salt and diesel, the other wiping tears she hadn't planned to shed. Around them, engines coughed, announcements echoed, and strangers hurried past, but time slowed, as if the world itself leaned in to listen. The girl's eyes held a truth too large for her age, and in that instant, the soldier knew this chance encounter would follow her long after the bus doors closed, long after uniforms were folded away. Some moments don't ask permission to change you. They simply arrive, gentle and devastating, and refuse to leave. The bus station had always been a place of endings for Lieutenant Maya Reynolds. Endings and beginnings wore the same face here, tired smiles, tight hugs, promises whispered into hair and collars. She had walked through it in uniform 100 times, her boots tapping the same tiles, her posture trained to carry weight without complaint. Today, though, she felt hollowed out. Her father's funeral was 2 days behind her, and the words people offered, "He was proud of you, he served too, he would have wanted you strong," slid past like rain off glass. She sat on a metal bench beneath a flickering board of destinations, watching buses arrive and depart, each one a reminder that time moved whether she did or not. Maya's phone buzzed with a message from her commanding officer. "Return when ready." The Navy had taught her to be ready on command, to brace, to adapt, to lead. It had not taught her how to miss someone whose voice still lived in her head. She pressed the heel of her hand into her eye, surprised by the heat that rose there. Crying in public felt like failure. Crying in uniform felt worse. She inhaled, exhaled, counted. Still, a tear escaped. That was when the girl appeared, tugging at the sleeve of her jacket with careful fingers. Maya looked down and found herself staring into a pair of curious brown eyes beneath a fringe of uneven bangs. The child couldn't have been more than 7 or 8. She wore a yellow backpack with a stitched-on star and a dress that had seen many washings. Behind her stood a man, tall, broad-shouldered, the kind of quiet presence that felt like a door standing open. He looked startled, embarrassed, as if he hadn't authorized this moment. "Please don't cry, ma'am," the girl said, earnest and solemn. "You can borrow my dad." Maya laughed before she could stop herself, a short, broken sound that cracked open something inside her. "Borrow your dad," she repeated, crouching to the girl's height. "Is he a library book?" The girl nodded gravely. "He's very good at listening. And he knows how to fix sad." The man cleared his throat. "I'm sorry," he said, cheeks coloring. "It's okay," Maya said. She looked at the girl again. "What's your name?" "Lila," the girl said. "My dad is Ben." Ben shifted his bag, clearly unsure whether to flee or stay. Maya straightened and wiped her face. "Lieutenant Maya Reynolds," she said, offering her hand. Ben shook it, his grip firm but gentle. They sat together then, because sometimes it's easier to accept kindness when it arrives disguised as something simple. Lila climbed between them on the bench, swinging her legs and humming tunelessly. Ben listened while Maya spoke, not in speeches, not with the controlled cadence she used at briefings, but in halting pieces. She told him about her father, a former sailor who had taught her to tie knots before she could write her name, who had waved from the pier when she shipped out, who had called her Captain Courage even when she felt anything but. Ben didn't interrupt. He didn't try to fix it. He just stayed. When Lila announced she was hungry, Ben produced a sandwich from his bag and split it in 3 without comment. They ate, and Maya felt the tightness in her chest ease, just a little. The board above them flickered again. Maya's bus number appeared. Time, relentless, tapping her shoulder, she stood, adjusting her jacket. "Thank you," she said, to both of them. To Lila, she added, "Your dad really is good at listening." Lila beamed. "You can keep him a little longer next time," she said. "If you need." Maya smiled, and then she boarded the bus, carrying more than she had when she arrived. As the doors closed, she saw Lila press her palm to the glass in a farewell salute, solemn and proud. Maya returned it, not knowing that this small exchange had set something in motion that would circle back, patient as the tide. Months later, the sea was restless, and so was Maya. The mission had ended without ceremony, another patrol, another return, but she felt the echo of it in her bones. She had learned to carry grief like a compass, letting it point her forward instead of weighing her down. Still, there were nights when the ship hummed and she lay awake, remembering a little girl's certainty, the way kindness could be offered without conditions. When she finally took leave, she didn't go home. Home felt different now. Instead, she followed a quieter pull and returned to the bus station, half expecting to find the bench empty and the moment preserved only in memory. But life, generous and strange, had other plans. Lila was there, older by inches and confidence, her bangs trimmed, her backpack replaced by a scuffed duffel of her own. Ben stood beside her, a crease of worry between his eyes. This time, it was his turn to look like he needed a place to sit. "Maya," he said, recognition blooming. "Lieutenant Reynolds." She laughed softly. "Please," she said. "Maya." They sat again, the same bench, the same flickering board. Lila leaned against Maya as if no time had passed. Ben spoke this time, words tumbling out about layoffs and moves and the ache of trying to be enough in a world that kept shifting the ground. Maya listened, offering the same quiet presence he had given her. When he finished, the worry in his eyes had softened. "I guess," he said, embarrassed, "I could use a borrowed something too." Maya nodded. "Anytime." The announcement crackled. Lila's bus. She stood and hugged Maya fiercely. "You're not crying," she observed, pleased. "I had help," Maya said. As they parted, Maya understood the shape of the lesson she had been given. Strength wasn't the absence of tears. It was the courage to let others stand with you while they fell. As the bus pulled away, she felt the steady rhythm of her heart align with the world again. Somewhere between departures and arrivals, she had found her message to carry forward. When you have nothing else to give, offer presence. When you are empty, accept it. We borrow each other, in small and sacred ways, and in doing so, we learn how to keep going. The station returned to its noise, its rush, its endless motion. Maya adjusted her jacket and stepped into the crowd, no longer alone, carrying a borrowed strength that had become her own, and ready, at last, to pass it on.